In this video, I will be going through all the strategies that you need to create to strategically position yourself in the right way in the country that you are going into. So this masterclass will basically cover understanding the foreign job market, research and skill positioning, tools, platform and networking before arriving, and action plan. So to give you a bit of background about myself, I'm also an immigrant. I just migrated from the UK to Canada. I didn't have a strategy prior to going into the country. I went in as a blank canvas, reasons being that I really expected that things would work out for me. But when I got into the UK, I realized that I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't have the right information, and I really did not know how to position myself strategically to get the things that I wanted. It took a long time before I was able to figure it out, but this is me just basically trying to break everything down to you in this video, what I've learned, so that you would avoid the mistakes that I made, so that when you're going into a new country, you have a strategy towards getting a job and succeeding in general. The first step would be for you to actually take out time to understand the job market of the country that you're going into. Identify what role that you're currently in. What do you do for a living? What is that thing that you excel and succeed at? What exactly do you do? So in my case, I am a business analyst. So for you, try to identify what it is that you do. Once you've understood this, I want you to go and check the demand of the job that you are doing in the country that you are going into. So to be able to understand the demand of the job that you are currently on in the country that you are interested in, I want you to explore websites like Indeed, LinkedIn, and Glassdoor. So in this case, let me try LinkedIn. And so here we are. When I go to my jobs, here you can see it says describe the job you want. So in my case, I would be like business analyst roles in Canada, for example, because Canada is where I am. And so we can see lists of jobs, business analyst jobs in Canada. So we have in Calgary, Ottawa, Toronto, Halifax, Montreal, Toronto. You get the gist. So basically, it is just you finding your role in that country that you're going into and trying to identify if there is demand for that particular role in the country that you're going into. Now you can explore LinkedIn, like I said, you can explore Indeed, as well as Glassdoor. So basically, this exercise just shows you if your current role exists in the country that you're going into. Another way which I did that worked for me was, so I read accounting in Nigeria prior to relocating to the UK. But when I relocated to the UK, I did my first master's, and I did my first master's in finance. And then when I had to do a second master's, I started to question if I really wanted to even continue in accounting and finance line. And so that made me do a simple Google search, basically just searching for roles that will make me money in the future. that's basically what I did, just searching like in 2025, for example, what roles are in demand, what roles would give me a job. So basically it's just a simple Google search. So here we just come and put in demand jobs in Canada 2025. Yeah, so here it says in 2025, several sectors of Canada are projected to have high demand for skilled workers. Key areas include healthcare, technology, skilled trades, roles such as HR managers, business analysts, and marketing professionals. So if you go down, you see a detailed list of roles. So we have the registered nurse, pharmacist, software developer, data analyst, IT support specialist, welder, electrician. So it's just basically you going through the roles that are in demand and seeing where you best fit. So based on your current skills, based on your current experience, where do you fit? Let's say you don't even want to remain in your current field and you want to pivot. Doing this simple Google search can help you choose the best career to actually give you a higher rate of success. That way, when you're going to that country, you're going in prepared for a job that you know would actually give you the job happiness and satisfaction that you want for yourself. So once you're done with this, I also wanted to check if the career path that you're interested in is a regulated career path. Like, do you need a certain kind of certification? Do you need to be regulated by the government? Like, I think, for example, that those require people in like healthcare, like for example, the nurses, the lawyers, doctors. Just confirm if your career path is going to be regulated in the country that you are going into. So the second part will basically involve you upgrading and aligning your skills ahead of time. This is even before you even go into the country. What does that mean? So let's take an example. So let's say you've decided that you want to be a business analyst. Let's say that that's the role that you're going for. I want you to go into LinkedIn, for example, as you can see my screen, or Indeed or Glassdoor, and pick out 5 different job advertisements. So let's go through this. So for example, let's look at this business analyst role in Bank of Canada. What I want you to do is go through the job description. I like to go through the list of skills. First of all, the skills and like the requirements, like what they need specifically from everybody that needs to apply. In this case, they said you're an analytical thinker. If you scroll down here, they said you would demonstrate a solid proficiency in underlying competencies as described in Babok Guide. Babok Guide is basically for the IIBA certification. So like once you see Babok, it just rings a bell that, oh, you need to be certified as a business analyst with IIBA. If you go down further, yeah, you can see it here. It says certified business analyst, this CBAB, or they want you to be a certified financial analyst or certified business analyst. They've also mentioned Tableau here as well as Power BI. Now let's check out another job description. This is for Fidelity Canada. So they've said here 3 to 5 business analyst experience with data migrations, experience with Salesforce or similar CRM, IIBA or business analysis certification, CSM and CSPO is an asset. And let's look at one more. Okay, so for this one, it says assets, valid IIBA certification, experience working with SDLC, and experience working with BPMN and agile methodology. If you do a thorough analysis of what is required for business analysts in that country, you actually start to put together like patterns in the job description. So for example, this one that we've just looked at has already told us that for starters, you need to be certified with IIB as a certified business analyst. So even if you don't pick out any other thing, like certification already stands out, that we need to do that to be able to be qualified to practice as a business analyst in that country. So this is the type of analysis I want you to do with regards to the job role that you are interested in. So identifying what role you want to do and seeing what is required of the role, and also seeing where you fit in. So once you've done this, the next step would be to compare your CV with what the market actually expects from that particular role to see if your CV is up to par. The aim of doing this is to identify any gaps in your CV. So if you need to get certified, at least now you know, okay, I need to start working towards getting certified. How much does it cost to get certified? Where can I actually get certified? Who is the provider? Things like that. Or if you have like more technical tools, like let's say Power BI, Tableau, Excel, you're asking yourself, do you know how to use these tools? How do I start learning these tools before I go into the country? Do I need to take courses? What do I need to do basically? Then once you've identified the gaps in your CV, the next steps would be for you to start trying to fill those gaps. I don't know if you get the pattern, if you get what we're trying to do now. We're trying to build up your CV to that point where you are actually eligible to apply for the jobs, to give yourself the best chance of succeeding or even getting to an interview stage. If you do not have the skills that they require, there is no way that they will get you to the interview stage. There's no way they'll be curious about you or want to know more about you or even want to speak to you in the first place. So the aim of identifying the gaps in your CV is for you to actually start working towards closing those gaps. In this case, maybe you might want to consider doing some online courses, basically identifying where you can even go and take those courses in the first place and start working towards it. Where do you need to get certified from? Start working towards it. If you don't have the money, start working towards trying to save that money to be able to get certified or learn those tools that is very important to you getting the job. Whilst you're working on your CV and trying to bridge the gap between what you have and what they need, the next step would be for you to start to work towards building an international personal brand. What do I mean by this? You have a LinkedIn account, right? Start working on building your LinkedIn account. So in this case, when you come to your profile, what I got from a coach was that You should aim to get your connections up to 500. Now, in my case, I haven't been able to get it up to 500 yet, but it's something that I'm working on. But in this case, it requires you getting it up to 500 connections. You can do this by maybe when you see a job description, you just follow the recruiter, or you look for people that are doing that role. In my case, business analyst, you search for business analysts in the country that you're going into, following them or requesting to connect with them on LinkedIn. This could even involve you posting more frequently, posting your little achievements where you are currently on LinkedIn, so that people start to engage in what you are doing. So you want to update the country, you want to update your information to the country that you're going to. So in this case, mine still says United Kingdom. That's because I just recently moved. But in this case, you can change it to Canada. You want to also change your headline as well. And also, if you scroll down on LinkedIn, where you have actually put down your skills, you want to get people to endorse you. So in this case, as you can see here, I was endorsed by one person, but let me show you what this looks like in this person's page. So when I go to Joseph Uzoechi's LinkedIn page, if I scroll down to the skills, I can see that they have skills in wireframing, timelines, and in this case, I want to endorse this and endorse this. I think this serves as a form of recommendation that yes, this person did this thing, and I endorse that this person did this thing, if that makes sense. Aside that, you just want to get like recommendations from your past employers and all of that. So relocating to a new country can be very exhausting. Even being an immigrant can be very exhausting, especially when you're trying to navigate the job market and it's seeming impossible. For many immigrants, navigating the job market, building a career, and feeling confident in a new environment can be very overwhelming, and this is where I come in. I help immigrants to succeed in their chosen career path in whatever country that you may be in, with strategic, personalized coaching. Whether you're just arriving, whether you're about to immigrate into a new country, whether you're a newcomer, or whether you have been in that country for a long time but you feel stuck. To be able to do this more effectively and efficiently, I offer one-on-one sessions to those who just want to meet me once and get clarity fast, and this will last for 1 hour. I'm also starting a 6-month mentorship program from September, which is designed for 3 kinds of immigrants: people who are about to move into a new country, newcomers that are already in that country, immigrants that have been in that country for a long time that feel stuck. This will cover strategic career planning, industry research, job market readiness, goal setting, CV review and optimization, job search strategy, career transitioning coaching, interview prep, and on-the-job support. So in these 6 months, we will be positioning you in such a way that you'll be able to secure a job. Once you're able to secure the job, we'll be able to offer you on-the-job support. So if this is what you are interested in, please find more details in the description of this video. See you in September. Once you're done with this part of your profile and like getting the endorsements, I also want you to start creating content on LinkedIn. Post your achievements. LinkedIn is a place to brag away. On LinkedIn, you can actually exaggerate the littlest thing that you've done. Do that. Even if what you did required moving from point A to point B, write about the steps you took from moving from point A to point B. For example, oh, I stood up and I took 2 steps and I took 3 steps and I got to point B, and then I took my shoes off and then I sat down, something like that. Like, explain it in that volume and then post it so that people start to engage with your achievement and you seem interesting, you seem like someone that somebody wants to work with. Once you have done this, the next step would be to create a portfolio. Now, let me explain what a portfolio is. So your CV is just filled with text, and to be honest, I think it can get boring. Most times, it doesn't really highlight your actual achievements. In some cases, some people will tell you, oh, once you are done with your job, like what you did in that company that you're working with, put key achievements on that. However, that makes your CV to be too wordy. And usually they would say a standard CV should have 2 pages. So 2 pages is actually not enough for you to showcase your achievement and all the things that you've delivered in the past. This is where portfolio comes in. Portfolio is a place to boast and show off all the things that you've achieved in such a way that it is beautiful and enticing that no one wants to look away from the things that you've done. So you can showcase the projects you've worked on, the results, the outcome of that project. You can showcase testimonials. You can showcase your own personal website. You can showcase anything you want on your portfolio. I think everyone should actually have a portfolio. And if you don't have a portfolio, try to build one today. And on this video, I'm going to show you how to build one. So I recently got certified as a product manager, and when I did, they introduced me to a career coach, and the career coach introduced me to a website called Gamma. So I'll just show that to you. So when you come here, you type Gamma. Let's imagine that you haven't logged into Gamma before. So this is Gamma. It has this blue logo, blue and white logo. So when you click on this, as you can see, I already experimented creating portfolios for myself, but let's try to create a new one. So you have the option of pasting in text. So you create from your notes, outline, or existing content, or you generate from a one-line prompt in a few seconds or import a file. So in this case, I want to generate. So by generating, AI will actually generate a portfolio for you based on what you have typed in. So in this case, create a product manager portfolio for Nena Obasi based on the products delivered for XXX company. Number one, distribution account, which is a new entity. Number two, migration of data from cloud-based AWS. So basically, this is just me putting in what I have achieved and telling Gamma to generate a portfolio for me. So when I click generate outline, in seconds, actually, it has already generated this whole outline based on just this little text here. And then when I click on generate, yeah, it's generating a portfolio for me. Okay, so it has finished generating this portfolio for me. Just one thing to know, this is actually editable. So in this case, it has given me a picture. this looks nothing like me, but I can change the picture if I want to. So it has already said, oh, Nena Obasi product manager portfolio, an experienced product manager specializing in cloud infrastructure and data platform solutions with a proven track record of delivering enterprise grade products that solve complex technical challenges whilst meeting business objectives. And then it goes ahead to produce my product manager management expertise. Then this is what I deliver. These are my achievements: distribution account, AWS to Azure migration. It talks about my challenges and solutions, impact and results, the skills and tools, and summary and future direction. It is so good that it actually generates what you need, things that you do not even think of, things that you haven't even thought of. It will put it in your portfolio, and this is completely editable. If you do not want some of the things to be here, if it doesn't reflect what you have actually done or what you've achieved, you can take it out. But I find that Gamma is a wonderful tool in generating portfolios. You can also use it for presentations and all of that, but in this case, we're talking about portfolios. So if you are thinking of ways to create your portfolio in a way that looks very professional, very clean, very neat, then consider Gamma. If you are interested in using Gamma to create a portfolio for yourself, the link is in my description. So you might wonder, how do you showcase this portfolio to the employers? This portfolio would originally go into your CV. I can just open my CV and show you an example of how this portfolio can be presented in your CV. You can see that in the header of my CV, I have somewhere called portfolio, and you will just insert it as a link. So if someone clicks on this, it will take them straight to my portfolio. So this is what you want to do. This is the whole aim. So even wherever you submit your CV to, once they click on your portfolio, they can be able to see all your achievements. Once you are done optimizing your LinkedIn profile, once you have started creating content on LinkedIn, building your portfolio, I want you to try to network before you arrive. This would involve messaging people that are doing the same thing that you want to do. For example, business analysts in Canada, I can just send them a small message just saying, I'm also aspiring to be a business analyst when I come to Canada? How did you get your job? What do I need to do? Just start trying to have conversations with people that are doing what you want to do in the country that you're going into. Some people might not respond, but some people might respond. And when they respond, you might learn one thing or two. And who knows, they might also recommend you for a job. You never really know how these things can play out, but you just need to make the efforts. You can also consider connecting with recruiters as well. You never really know how these things will play out, but just put yourself out there as much as possible. Look for virtual meetings. If there are meetings online that you can attend, try to attend them. People are actually hosting a lot of things online. I'm sure if you dig deeper and you search, you can be able to find. That will be your way of actually meeting people, gathering information, and probably even positioning yourself for referral. Now, for the most important part of this masterclass, I want you to create an action plan. I think that creating a 3-month action plan prior to coming into the country is ideal. What this requires is you, first of all, okay, you've identified the role. Yeah, you can just put timelines to it. In the first month, identifying the role, identifying the gaps in my CV. In the second month, working towards filling those gaps, working towards certification, studying, and all of that. In the third month, making sure that my CV is ready, and now I'm ready to start putting in applications even before going into that country. It is very crucial. Like, if you are not coming in as a student and you're coming in as a worker, especially in places like Canada that offer PR, that means that you can come in to just come and work. It is very, very important that you start to put your applications in even before you come into the country. Once you are sure that you are coming in on a certain date, I advise and encourage you to start preparing yourself and putting in your application at least 1 month before coming into the country. That shortens the time you would have to wait to be able to get a job, because you've already started job hunting even before going into the country. And you never even know, you can actually get a job even before coming into the country. People are getting jobs, and it is not impossible. But even if it takes time, at least you've started your process earlier, way earlier, even before going into that country. So when you are going to the country, you're not going in like lost or in this gray area or this black area where you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, where do I start from? No, you've already spent that time. You've invested that time in making sure that your CV is up to par. Your CV is good and ready to go. In fact, you're already in the job market. You know, when you know your stuff, like, you have that confidence that it's just a matter of time. I wouldn't have to wait so long to be able to secure a job. So if you're about to go into a new country, do your best to actually create an action plan month by month to ensure that you are placing yourself or positioning yourself in the job market to give yourself the best chance of succeeding. You don't want a situation where it's like you've gotten into the country and you're like, oh my God, it's so hard here. I haven't gotten a job in 3 months. I haven't gotten a job in 5 months. I haven't gotten a job in 6 months. And that's because you didn't properly plan yourself or prepare. Gone are those days where it's like you come into the country and recruiters are the ones calling you. Now you have to put in the extra work. If things are tougher, you put in more work to achieve the same results. In this case, have the right action plan with the right timelines to give yourself the best chance at succeeding in that new country. If you're interested, I have a toolkit in the description below. It is called the Job Market Preparation Toolkit. It basically just summarizes everything that I have said into a PDF document. You can download this as your guide to prepare for the job market before you go into the country of your choice. Guys, if you found this very helpful, or if you know anyone that would find this particular class very helpful, please share it to the person. I believe that everyone should succeed, and in the best way possible. But without the right strategy, you wouldn't get your desired outcome. So start working towards your goals and start working on time. Thank you guys for watching, and if this is the kind of content that you like, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, and comment, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.